Coming up right now, we've all seen those gender reveal parties, but one woman thinks, listen, they've gone way too far. See what's stirring up the latest online debate.
Also coming up, imagine being pregnant and weeks later you get pregnant again.
Whoa.
Yeah, it really happened. We've got the details on one woman's surprise double pregnancy.
And a little bit later on, till death do them part. Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne reveal their suicide pact and why, it's still intact. Why their reason and what they have might surprise you.
Daily Flash starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I am Mitch English, welcoming you to Daily Flash. Listen, I don't know how we did it all week. Your weekend okay?
My weekend was great.
This whole weekend, I said, listen, I'm going to wait till Monday, and then we're just going to have a hell of a week. And by God, I came into work this morning, and I was like, this is it. This is our week. So we got a week packed for you.
You know, I love that football is back. It's sort of that sweet spot of 2 weeks where every sport is on: hockey, baseball, basketball, preseason, and football.
It's one of those where, and the weather's cooler, and you kind of you want to where you should go out, but you could at least keep the windows open. Matt Doolittle also joining us as well. Maddie, what's new, man?
Well, my 23andMe got hacked. Come to find out, Samuel L. Jackson is my real father.
It's Sammy Jackson.
Yeah. So how about that?
That means you're allowed to wear your Kangol.
Yeah, I can wear. Well, I can do it backwards, but I'm not there yet. But I'm joining.
He's got the card.
Yeah. What's in your wallet?
Yeah. Capital One, baby.
We will check in with Maddie here a little bit later on in the show here, and lots of stuff happening around.
You recently got married.
I did.
You did, yes. Did you have a wedding registry?
Yes, we did. And we made it easy. We went on Amazon and just kind of made it.
And did the whole thing.
Yeah, they make it
so
easy.
This couple in Austin, Texas, have a wedding registry that's getting a lot of attention because they posted a speeding ticket that they want paid for on their wedding registry. And people are responding. They think it's great. The couple got a speeding ticket a couple weeks before their wedding. It's about $300, and they said, "Hey, what we'd like for our guests to pay for is our speeding ticket."
$300. That is amateur work. I am literally in the state of Georgia classified as a super speeder. And they give you the ticket, like the $300 ticket, and they go, well, you went over like a certain speed, even beyond that, so we're going to call you a super speeder, and you're going to have to pay for this additional. So it's almost twice the amount. And so that's why when I drive to Oklahoma, I have to bypass
How do you speed in a Prius?
No, this was in my Volvo. No, now, so we go up to North Carolina. She drove. Like, I was like, I ain't getting in the car. Yeah, you can.
It's a good question, Matt.
That's the whole thing about Priuses. You know how many people pull out in front of you when you're in a Prius?
Yeah, because you're driving a Prius. It's not a real car.
Let me tell you something though. I can beat you off the line on. My car can beat you off the line if there's this one button. You know, go-karts you can hit and they take off. Well, there's a button on this. By the way, this is my wife's Prius. All right, I don't have a Prius. I have a truck. But you press this button and you go, and it'll take off like really fast. For
2 seconds.
My son's the one that told me about it. No, because
your wife made you drive the Prius the other day, and we had to go back and get your truck.
Why is it still the most unattractive car,
isn't it,
on the market after all these years?
You would think after this, make it sexy, make it. You know what they're talking about, Toyota? This is their only.
There's nothing sexy about a Prius.
You're trying to fight this.
No.
Toyota. It's like birth control for automobiles.
That's true. I have no need to fight it anymore. But Toyota is actually, if you look at it, they don't have a very big line of electric cars. They're trying to go with e-cars, and they're even talking about how they're going to use ammonia as an e-fuel. So they don't have that. Toyota is like kind of banking on e-fuels instead of batteries.
You might want to work on the design.
Let's go to design, too. It looks like somebody just cut it right off in the end, which is what we're doing with this conversation, right?
Yes.
A woman who has ignited a fierce debate online after revealing her friend wanted to charge guests around $20 just to attend their gender reveal party. Well, she was left confused after receiving the invite, which asked guests to cover the cost of the event and wanted to know if it was rude for her friend to expect guests to send a payment. She said she didn't mind paying, but was still think the request was kind of in poor taste. Now, we should note the party is being fully catered at a venue and not being held at someone's house. Well, if you can't afford it, I'm speaking out here. I mean, but if you can't afford it, then you don't have it at your house. Do you have to have it at this place?
I'm with you on that. If you're tasked with hosting some kind of a party, or if you offer, be able to afford to host a party. Don't ask the guests to pay for it. That's tacky.
And you have to bring a gift as well. I mean, because that's what a shower is, so that you gather in all these
Not only
gifts.
is there the gender reveal party that you got to buy a gift for, but there's also the baby shower that you got to buy a gift for. And then after the baby's born, you got to buy another gift for
It never stops.
No, never.
And then the debate goes in, do you do it for the second child?
Yes.
Because it should be...
one and done.
One and done. That's what a lot of people believe. It's like, look, your first one, because you can pass that crap down.
Well, a mom-to-be knew she was pregnant. She just didn't know she was expecting triplets. Although Dee Fletcher and her husband were planning their first pregnancy together, they were not prepared to naturally conceive triplets. Turns out Dee had experienced something known as superfetation.
Oh my.
Doctors say Dee got pregnant twice in 1 week.
Yeah, girl.
One of her embryos was conceived 6 days before the other
Wow.
two. They say she ovulated twice, but at 2 different times. Doctors told her she could get pregnant this way again in the future. Dee says while she was able to make it to 32 weeks, she eventually had to have a cesarean section to welcome the triplets. This is like a 1 in a bazillion chance that this happens to you.
That's crazy. And so longer, I guess, within 18 months somewhat,
Yeah.
or maybe around that, she was pregnant that whole amount of time.
She was pregnant. No, she was.
No, because you have a baby and then she got pregnant. Oh, did she have them all together?
No, she had. So she got pregnant. She found out she was pregnant 1 week, and then 2 weeks later she found out she was pregnant again.
I got you now.
So she had her embryos split, and she was able to get pregnant, and then it turned into triplets for her.
I think Maury needs to come out of retirement and explain
Maybe.
this.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But that or a landlord suddenly leading scene out the womb, right?
Okay, check this out. Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne are sharing more insight into their assisted suicide pact.
Say what?
Nearly 2 decades after Sharon first spoke about the agreement, she clarified on her podcast that it is still in place. Sharon explained she and Ozzy have a plan to travel to Switzerland and end their lives at a physician-assisted suicide organization if needed, and their kids are on board with their parents' plan to avoid any kind of suffering. The couple came to this decision after dealing with Sharon's father, who rapidly declined during his battle with Alzheimer's. Ozzy's been very public, too, about his health struggles over the years, from life-altering neck and back surgery to Parkinson's disease. Sharon also opened up about her struggles with mental health and battling depression for 16 years.
I think that the assisted suicide, Kevorkian, Jack Kevorkian, that we've always, back in the 80s, 90s, I think it was 90s, 2000s or whatever, now it's become more and more accepted. Now, I don't know if it's because I'm older and I'm like, you know what, this isn't probably a bad idea. but my father had Alzheimer's, and it was one of those things, just watching someone slowly, die, and it's very painful, and there's our people that go, look, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this with my family. I'm okay with it. I'm peace with it. It seems like in this day and age, it should be something that, well, if you're okay with it and you realize, but there should be steps, obviously.
There is an argument to be made by people who find themselves later on in life or in their current life, and they're in such extreme pain or in such bad shape that they want to just end it. So rather than have to commit suicide, they'd rather have some help in doing it peacefully. And some people would argue we treat our animals better in those late stages than we do our fellow humans.
And from my understanding, the machine, basically, they set it up, but you are the person that hits the button to do it. So technically that person isn't doing it. I mean, and so the reason I say that is because, well, that's a humane way to go, to die. Whereas, look, if you're going to do it, then, there's other ways, ODing or, with a firearm or something like that. All right, speaking about the cost of living at an all-time high, right? One woman has managed to score a rent-free, sprawling estate nestled in the heart of London. She's 35-year-old Aisha Barat, and she lives in an abandoned hospital. She's scared of everything, so running is the only way to get around. She says that she's not a squatter, adding the hospital's original owner hired her through a property guardianship company to serve as a 24/7 watch person. The hospital areas have not been cordoned off, are available for her to live in and just use wherever way she wants to. Frightened fans online are calling her living situation the absolute worst nightmare.
This is how The Walking Dead starts.
Possibly so.
That's where they go. This is dead in here. Do not come in. Nope.
It's always in the hospital, right, where these things break out.
An abandoned hospital
is
too.
One of those that you have to worry about as well. I think, but I think of The Shining. He took care of the hotel. That was
Good call.
Scary,
That's
right?
right.
And but if you're not paying rent, there's bill collectors that are scarier than
you pay one way or the other, right? It might be free technically, but you're also paying with your sanity, I think.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
We have more Flash coming up in just a moment. We're going to be talking to an author of a children's book. This woman's like a Renaissance woman, right?
Yes, I mean, she does it all. And she also has this beautifully illustrated children's book. So we're going to take a deep dive into that and find out the motivation behind it. Her son is an inspiration for the book.
We'll be talking to Marie Boyd. That's coming up right around the corner. And, of course, our website always running just for you. Just go to dailyflashshow.com. We'll have more trending news and entertainment right after this.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson. A new children's book is helping kids see life in a different way by inspiring them to be themselves in any environment. Joining us to talk about Just a Worm is the author and the illustrator, Marie Boyd. Marie, welcome.
Thank you for having me on the show.
So, what was the inspiration for the book?
Well, when my son was younger, we used to like to take walks around the neighborhood. And whenever it had been raining and there were worms on the sidewalk, he'd get really upset. And one day I told him they're just worms. And then I started thinking about, what would a worm feel if it could hear me and understand my words? And that question led to the book, Just a Worm.
And I love the idea behind the title, obviously inspired by your son. What broader lessons or perspectives does the story aim to impart about nature and the world around us?
Yeah, so in the book, after hearing a kid say that the worm is just a worm, the worm sets off through the garden and encounters a number of other garden creatures, which the worm compares themselves to. And so it has both science messages and teaches kids about different garden creatures, but the broader message that I'm really hoping that readers will take from this is I think that we've all probably at some point compared ourselves to someone else and felt like we've fallen short. And my hope is that the book will encourage readers to think about what they can contribute to their families and schools and communities, because we all have something to contribute.
Why is it so important for kids to learn this interconnectedness when we seem like so disconnected in this current world with social media and our phones and tablets and screens?
Well, I think it's really important for children in order to help them find their place in the world, and also to understand that they can make a difference, that they have the power to change their families and do good things for their families and their schools and their communities.
How do the visual elements you created for the book help the story? And the illustrations are gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. So I made the illustrations using a cut paper technique called quilling. And I was inspired by plants in my garden and my parents' garden. And so all of the illustrations I made out of narrow pieces of paper that I curled and coiled and glued to make the illustrations. And so I really was trying to capture some of the beauty of a garden.
It's absolutely stunning, Marie. What would you like kids and even adults to take away from reading this book?
So I really hope that the book will help kids and adults have conversations about the ways that they can contribute and to inspire them to be creative and find things that they can make. There's a craft in the back of the book. So I would also be thrilled if readers tried their hand at quilling.
I love this. You're also a terrific example of a life balance because you're a mom, you're an author, you're a law professor, and married to politics. How do you do it all?
Well, one of the things that was really important to me and is really important to me is art and creativity. And so even when I don't have a lot of time, I try to carve out a few minutes that I can spend writing or making art.
Marie, it's been terrific talking to you. For more information on Just a Worm, you can head over to marieboyd.com. It's a beautiful book. We inspire everybody to get it. Marie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me on the show.
All right. And then there's this. Boy, howdy. QB Aaron Rodgers, he's now challenging Chiefs Travis Kelce to a debate over vaccinations after nicknaming the tight end Mr. Pfizer. Well, Kelce stars in a Pfizer commercial, which encourages people to get vaccinated, and responded by saying that he never expected to be a part of a vaccination war with Rodgers, who has shared his concerns about being with people forced to get the COVID shot. Don't believe us? Take a look and listen.
Mr. Pfizer said he didn't think he would be in a vax war with me.
Oh, boy.
Didn't think he'd be in a vax war with me. This ain't a war, homie. This is just conversation. But if you want to have some sort of duel, debate, have me on the podcast. Come on the show. Let's have a conversation.
Oh. On his weekly appearance on the Pat McAfee Show, Rodgers said each of them could bring someone in supporting their side as well. And, you know, politics is, there's no way you're either, you can't say, well, about this vaccination stuff, because it's purely politics at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think it's healthy to have the debate.
Oh, 100%,
I think we went through a time where you weren't allowed to have an opposing view. You were snuffed out. You were banned on social media.
You wanted to get everybody sick if you disagreed with it, right?
Exactly, which I think is really dangerous. And when it comes to this kind of conversation, I think between these two superpowers, these two very high-profile athletes, I think it's good for everybody to have this discussion.
I agree so as well. Now, Alice Cooper came out last week, and he was saying about rock stars always giving political statements.
Yeah.
He's like, y'all need to shut up. People are coming here to hear your music. They're not here to hear your political stuff.
Yes.
Alice Cooper said this guy's been around. And you either agree or disagree with him. But I posted about that. I had so much support people for Alice Cooper. I think people are at a point now that, you know what, we can find out our own decisions. I don't really care what you think. I want to continue to like you.
Yeah.
So maybe just, I don't care about your politics.
And I think that's what happened with sports, too. It got so inundated with politics and messaging. People are like, I just want to watch a football game. I don't want to get a lecture. I just want to enjoy my sports. I don't want to have to see banners and slogans and messages. And it just got so overwhelming.
And because I would imagine a lot of people jumped on that bandwagon so quickly because sports was supposed to be our getaway from all of that kind of stuff. And then it was also right around the time about taking a kneel. So, I mean, they know if there's a national audience or a worldwide audience, somebody's going to go political with it as well. I've got a boss lady set up for you. We're going to be meeting her. That's coming up right around the corner right here on Daily Flash.
In this week's Boss Lady, she is the boss of her own PR firm. She's a children's book author, and she is also a devoted dog mom. Please welcome Ilene Lieber, the founder of Passion PR, to Daily Flash. Hi, Ilene.
Hi, Andrea. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm truly honored to be featured in this segment. And I have to tell you, I think it's very meant to be, because look what I've had for several years now. If you could see this. This boss lady.
You're living your own motivation there, Miss Boss Lady.
Yeah, this is meant to be. Yes, exactly.
So let me ask you this, Ilene. What motivated you to start your own PR company?
Yeah, so, you know, it's really interesting, Andrea, because it wasn't necessarily the plan to have my own company someday or something that I always wanted to do. It was more, you know, something that just kind of happened. And now I can't imagine doing anything else. So basically, after college, I ended up getting my dream job working for the E! Channel, E! Entertainment Television in Los Angeles. And, you know, after doing that for a few years, I decided that I wanted to be back in Florida, to be closer to family and friends. And so, you know, what do you do after you have your dream job? It's, you know, a little bit tricky to figure that out. And so I said, okay, it's time to find a new dream. And so, you know, I started Passion PR kind of on the side. The vision was, and my belief really is that, you know, the best public relations professionals are those that are as passionate about your passion as you are. And so my idea was to start a PR company, and, you know, I would specialize in my passions, which are entertainment, also hospitality. My brother was in the restaurant industry for many years, and so I enjoyed being around that with him. And so, you know, and I wanted to specialize in public relations, press release writing, media relations, you know, working with the news media to generate coverage and buzz. And so, I started this on the side and, utilizing different relationships that I had, different people that I knew to try to, build up my clientele. I've been so fortunate to work with amazing, amazing clients over the years. And believe it or not, it's been 11 years now, which I really can't believe.
Well, we're looking at some of the clips. I know you've been involved with Immerse and so many other great local events. What advice would you give to someone who's looking to get into public relations?
Yeah, so, the communications field has become so broad. It's grown so much. So, I do have a PR degree, in addition to that, I would say, just to try to fine tune exactly like what you're looking for. What kind of communications and PR do you want to do? Also, what industry are you passionate about? Do you want to be in? Is there a particular company? Is there a particular location? I'm a big supporter of internships. I think it is so valuable to get on the job experience. It's a great way to get some ins. So I would, try to maybe find an internship that is something that appeals to you and just go for it. Just go for it, whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah, internship. I think that is so key. You are also a children's book author and a devoted dog mom. Tell us about merging both of those into one super unique project. There it is, the book cover.
Yes. Yes, I'm so excited to talk about this. And it's actually really cool, Andrea, because again, being a children's book author was not something that I planned. It ended up being this like super cool thing. And, there's a really neat synergy between Passion PR and the book. So basically, I hit about year 5 with Passion PR, and I just decided that I wanted to try something new. And, again, some common themes here, relationships, passion. I thought, okay, what is it that I'm passionate about also and that I love in life? And for me, just like you, Andrea, we are both devoted dog moms.
Yes.
Yes. My love is my Zoe. I call her my doggy daughter. Also, I love children and I love writing. And so a light bulb went off that I should do a children's book series based on the real life adventures of Zoe and I, since I take her with me everywhere. And the first book, Zoe's Adventures to the Ice Cream Shop, is about a true story where we went to a local ice cream shop on National Ice Cream Day. And it's a really cool, the story is super sweet. I work with some wonderful illustrators and I donate a portion of proceeds to different animal charities, currently Pet Alliance, and also the book. And every book I'm hoping in this series will have a lesson in it that I like to say is for kids and for grown-ups. And so this one is about patience and good things come to those who wait, which is a great lesson, for all of us. And and it's just really cool. And, with Passion PR, I'm behind the scenes. I'm putting my clients in the spotlight, which I'm more comfortable, doing that. And with the book, I'm on the other side now. Well, really, I'm putting, Zoe's in the spotlight. I'm doing this with her, so, but it's been, like I keep saying, cool, because it really has been, with different relationships that I've had through Passion PR. I've been able to utilize with the book for different story times we've done or, different things around the community.
Thank you so much. For more information, there is where you can find the book, ZoeAdventuresBooks.com or on Amazon.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everybody. I am Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson, along with Matt Doolittle. This is Daily Flash, your source for trending news and entertainment.
We had a mom and basically a nutritionist that was on the show last week, and they were talking about Halloween candy. And they said, wait to the last minute to get the Halloween candy because what happens is you have it at the house, you wind up eating it, right?
That's so true.
Well, believe it or not, our friends at Mars, they make M&Ms, right? They came out and they have a survey. They said 89% of people who buy them early have confessed to eating too much.
Oh, 100%.
Right, and then not enough to hand out. So they actually have hooked up with GoPuff. Have you heard of GoPuff?
No.
It's kind of like Uber Eats or Postmates.
Okay.
It's like a delivery service.
Gotcha.
They are hooking up. If you, on Halloween, you need to register for it first. They will deliver emergency M&Ms to you to hand out within an hour, within 1 hour. They will, but you have to sign up for it on their website, GoPuff, and they will deliver M&Ms and be able to get it within an hour. You have to sign up. It's called the Rescue Squad, and they're going to be on call starting at 3 p.m. on Halloween. So if there's a GoPuff in your area and you run out of the candy, the M&Ms.
Mitch, I'm stealing your line. My hand to God. My dad used to buy 3 bags. 2 we had to hide, and 1 he would eat on his own before Halloween. He'd buy 3 of those giant Costco bags of candy, but he had us hide 2, and he knew he was going to plow through 1 right before Halloween.
You mentioned Costco. Costco has a deal with Mars and a couple other candy companies where they have a special combination of Halloween candy that includes
like in one big bag,
in one big bag, but from the 3 different companies. So it's like Snickers, Hershey, and Reese's or whatever it is, but it's like the best of the best candy, and they worked out a deal with these candy companies and said, hey, if you guys all agree, we'll put you all in one bag. And that's like the key bag to get.
Like a little buffet of candy.
Yeah.
There you go.
The best candy.
All right, so you need a last minute fix, you can do that with GoPuff and M&Ms.
I love that. Okay, a woman has ignited a fierce debate online after revealing her friend wanted to charge guests around $20 to attend her gender reveal party. She was left confused after receiving the invite, which asked her guests to cover the cost of the event and wanted to know if it was rude for her friend to expect guests to send a payment. She said she didn't mind paying, but still thinks the request was kind of in poor taste. We should note the party is being fully catered at a venue, not being held at someone's home. Regardless of that fact, if you can't afford to host a party, maybe you shouldn't volunteer as host.
That might be, well, yeah, and for a gender reveal, I don't think you have like a wedding, you have a maid of honor and a best man that do all that work for you.
Yeah.
It's more of you and your husband have to put it together. So I agree with you on that. You could say, hey, look, if you want to pitch in, maybe the fund is this. If you want to help pay for the tip for the staff that's going to take care of it, that kind.
Sure.
I have no problem with that. But to say it's going to be $20 for you to come to a reveal party, and I'll go, I want to reveal to you that I won't be there.
I won't be paying you a time, and I will not be paying.
And I'll be showing a time. Let me know. I'm going to know what that sex of the child is the rest of its life, so I don't need to find out on the day.
At what point did we start doing these gender reveal parties? Because they're really irritating.
No, they are. And remember
Instagram.
They did one
Instagram?
out in Arizona or whatever, caught that fire. Remember that?
There was that one in Mexico where the plane crashed.
Yes, that one too.
It's got to stop.
It really does.
It's got to stop. Alrighty, now imagine having one and then going, we got a really big reveal for you. A mom-to-be, she knew she was pregnant. She just didn't expect she was going to have triplets. No big surprise there, but listen to this. Dee Fletcher and her husband were planning their first pregnancy together, but they were not prepared to naturally conceive triplets. It turns out that Dee had experienced something known as a superfetation. And that's where doctors say Dee got pregnant twice in 1 week. We would love to have been at that party. One of her embryos was actually conceived 6 days before the other 2. They say she ovulated twice, but at 2 different times. Doctors told her that she could get pregnant again the exact same way. She says that while she was able to make it 32 weeks, she eventually had to make a cesarean section to welcome those triplets.
I think that dude took the bumper thing we were talking about the other day of the Viagra.
The Viagra bump.
The Viagra bumper.
The chances of her getting pregnant like that are like 1 in a bazillion.
Which is
so
really weird,
rare. Yeah.
And I would guess, I didn't look at their children, but they look identical. I wonder if they're genetically.
Two are identical. The other one is
sense.
not.
There
Yeah.
you go. We got more Flash coming up. We're going to give you some tips on getting your house all together, especially for Halloween time.
In this week's Help My Home, we're hitting up the internet for some great DIY holiday projects. Here's Shayna Alnwick from The Flipped Piece with an easy take on how to make festive wreaths for any occasion and deck out your own staircase. Take a look.
Here's how to make a beautiful wreath for less than $10. Go to the dollar store and get one of these styrofoam circles and some foliage. Once you get it, you're going to cut it at the metal stems and choose a paint color that's neutral to match it and paint your wreath in that color. This is the color Dixie Belle Cobblestone. Then use the wire ends and just poke them into the wreath. Make sure they're nice and evenly spaced out. And it's that simple, folks. You have a beautiful wreath for fall, and you can do this for any holiday season. What do y'all think? Here's a beautiful and easy way to decorate your staircase for the holiday season. Get some pool noodles or pipe insulation and secure on your railing with zip ties. Then go get some foliage. I got all this from the dollar store, so it's very, very affordable. You want to cut the leaves off with wire cutters till they make these little pieces, and you can stick them all throughout the pool noodle. Once you stick it in the areas that you like, you want to fill in the gaps with some other decor pieces. I also took some mesh and I stuck it in some pieces that needed more foliage. I stuck in some acorns and pumpkins, and here's the final result. It's beautiful. But if you want to keep on going and spook it up for the holiday season, you can do some Halloween bits by adding in some spooky foliage, some skeletons and skeleton heads. You can also add in these bigger skeleton heads, some spiders for fun, and more spiders crawling up the railing. And this is the final result. This is such a cool way to decorate your house for Halloween. And the best part is when it's done, you remove the zip ties, put it in storage, and pop it on again for next year. Go on and recreate this and tag me in your videos.
I love this idea because you can change it out all year round.
You can, and you know, and wreaths especially, because once you get a nice set-up wreath, and then you just change like from a skull to a heart, and it's all of a sudden it's Valentine's Day.
Exactly. Well, here are some interesting pumpkin carving ideas, and not all of them involve buying a kit and trying to carve out patterns with flimsy plastic carving tools. We've all been there, right?
Okay.
First up, the cookie cutter option. This is kind of cool. Grab a few cookie cutters and a small hammer. Lightly hammer the cookie cutters into an already hollowed out pumpkin. Once you've got the cuts done, go in with a carving tool and clean up the remainder so your patterns show all the way through. Okay, next up, string art. You can try this one. You'll need nails, a hammer, and a printed stencil design. Attach the stencil to your pumpkin with tape and then tap nails into the pumpkin, leaving about a ½ inch of nail above the surface. Pick a fun color for your string and then weave it in between the nails. Keep the string as taut as possible as you connect all the elements there, and make sure that you tie off the ends. That's how you complete this really cool string art design.
Love that.
And if you prefer to paint your pumpkins instead of paring them with a knife, try this. First, tape off your design with some painter's tape, and then make sure you tape the stump off. Then grab some spray paint, cover the pumpkin with the paint color of your choice. Once it starts to dry, you can start untaping your design. Carefully pull the tape away from the pumpkin to reveal a layered design with your chosen paint patterns.
Loving that. One of the biggest things that I realized, I got one from these tips, is that we always want to cut open the top.
The bottom.
You should do the bottom because it makes more sense, because otherwise you got to put that candle down in there and you got to reach it. But if you cut out the bottom, you can keep the bottom, put the candle on top of it, light it, and then put the jack-o'-lantern on top of it.
So here's some advice. If you are carving your pumpkins at home, you can end up with a spooky drain disaster from all those pumpkin guts, okay? So here's some advice from the experts. Avoid carving your pumpkins at the kitchen sink, or any sink for that matter. The gobs of gourdy innards can wrap themselves around your garbage disposal, or worse, act like a sticky glue and clog up your drain. And experts warn, do not flush your pumpkin excess down the toilet.
Not at all.
So try these options instead. Carve your pumpkins outside. You can do it on newspaper, inside a container, or on a heavy-duty trash bag. However, if you do end up clogging the drain, you can try one of the following. You can plunge it. You can use natural solutions like baking soda and vinegar, chemical drain cleaners, drain sneak, or if all else fails, you're gonna have to call the plumber.
There you go. Plumber will know how to do it. We pressure washed a pumpkin one time.
Did you really?
It wasn't pretty, but it worked. You get a pressure washer with that precise thing, you can carve right into a pumpkin. Try it. It just doesn't look good. More Flash after this.
Life Love Shopping is a weekly 30-minute lifestyle show hosted by Andrea Jackson. It's focused on the latest trends for your health, home, and happiness. Life Love Shopping offers viewers ways to improve their life and style, wellness, and relationships. If you live it, love it, or buy it, Life Love Shopping will talk about it.
We start today's show with the happiest jobs in America. A recent study found physical therapists take the top spot when it comes to job satisfaction.
Life Love Shopping, your life and style guide from A to Z.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson. Millions of Americans who were hoping to get their student loans forgiven are facing a new reality check. Joining us to talk about it is Ayelet Sheffey. She's the senior economic policy reporter for Insider. Welcome to Daily Flash.
Thank you for having me.
So what are the key components here of President Biden's latest student loan forgiveness plan?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Supreme Court struck down Biden's first attempt at student loan forgiveness back in June. So that was using the HEROES Act of 2003, which relied on the COVID-19 pandemic to cancel student debt. The Supreme Court ruled he did not have the authority. So now he's trying again. He's using the Higher Education Act. And this is a lengthy process because it requires the administration to go through this process called negotiated rulemaking. And that requires a series of negotiations, public public comment, and it could take at least a year, probably more, for that to be implemented. But right now, the administration is looking at which groups of borrowers this relief should be targeted for. And it looks like they're narrowing it down into borrowers who are experiencing some sort of financial hardship. And we will be getting more details over the next few months as these negotiations carry out.
And we should mention here, Ayelet, that this may not even happen. I mean, at this point, because of all the different negotiations and what he's gone through with the first round of negotiating for his student loan program. How does this one differ from existing student loan forgiveness and repayment plans?
Yeah, that's a great question. So this student loan forgiveness, borrowers would not have to, apply. They would not have to prove that they need to have this relief to repay their debt. This would likely be for targeted groups of borrowers, either through a quick application or automatically. Of course, as you mentioned, student loan payments have resumed. So as borrowers are waiting for this relief, they are applying for certain income-driven repayment plans like Biden's new SAVE plan. So during this time, as the Education Department is figuring out what its new student debt relief should look like, borrowers are making those student loan payments and enrolling in plans, hoping to make their payments cheaper as they wait for this broader relief.
And how does the plan address the challenges of student loan debt, such as the burden it places on borrowers and the economy, and also the people who've already paid their loans back?
Mm-hmm. Right. So I think something that the Education Department negotiator made clear in the sessions just last week is that this is, as they are working to craft this plan, this is something that is targeted for borrowers who have really been struggling to repay their debt, who have maybe even paid off the amount they were required to pay on income-driven repayment plans, but due to errors on the part of their servicer or just, minor administrative errors, they've been in repayment for decades longer than they should have. So while we don't yet know the firm details of what this new relief will look like, it looks like the department is really hoping to focus it on borrowers who have done their part and made those payments but are still struggling under this big debt burden.
And what other eligibility criteria might be in place for the individuals to qualify?
So at this point, the Education Department is looking at 5 distinct groups of borrowers. And, just to make a note there, that could likely change as these negotiations carry out. But at this point, they're looking at borrowers who have paid off their loans but are still struggling due to accrued interest. So they can't even touch the original amount that they paid off, along with borrowers who might be eligible for a loan forgiveness program that's targeted, but they cannot yet enroll.
Terrific. Ayelet, thank you so much for joining us. We'll have more information and you'll be able to watch the segment as well again on our website, dailyflashshow.com.
That was very good information. And, thinking, because there's so many people wondering about that. I'm glad we are able to talk about that. All right, we know what time of year it is. It's fall, right? It's a great time for get-togethers of all kinds, right? But what's on the menu? Here with some delicious suggestions is Chef Claire Robinson. Hey there, Claire. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Let's start with Butterball's hearty turkey sausage links. They are a delicious addition to fall entertaining. These yummy sausages are pre-cooked and only take minutes to warm up. Fantastic, sliced and sautéed with a medley of veggies in a skillet, or you can serve them on a bun with your favorite toppings. Find both of these convenient recipes on butterball.com. They'll surely be a party favorite. No fall spread is complete without your favorite dips. From Frito-Lay, Tostitos Chunky Salsa combines tomatoes, jalapenos, onions, and garlic for the perfect bite. Tostitos Queso Blanco blends creamy Monterey Jack cheese with jalapenos and red bell peppers for just the right amount of heat. And for those who need a dip for everything like me, Doritos Dips has you covered. Available in spicy nacho cheese and Cool Ranch jalapeno flavors. Fans can take all of their favorite foods from pizza to veggies to another Dorito-fied level. When it comes to fun fall gatherings, I say, go easy on yourself and stock your freezer. One of my favorite tricks is to create a colorful snack grazing board featuring farm-rich snacks with tasty appetizers like mozzarella sticks, breaded mushrooms, fried pickles, loaded potato skins. I add some veggies, dips, and a fun fall cocktail to make it special. Farm-Rich is available at grocery stores and online, and you can get more ideas like this at farmrich.com. Elevate your tailgate or home gate with Ayelet Brie for grilling. It holds its iconic shape even when cooked at high heat on the grill, and its 4.5-ounce wheel also fits perfectly on burger buns, making it an excellent centerpiece for game day and drink pairings like barbecue rubbed grilled brie with smoked almonds, blue corn chips, and your favorite IPA. Available at retailers nationwide. For more info, go to butterball.com, Frito-Lay.com, FarmRich.com, and AlouetteCheese.com.
Claire, thank you. Well, it's also a good time to refresh, update, and upgrade when it comes to heating and cooling. Here's HGTV's Chip Wade with more.
Hi, Chip Wade here, DIY expert with some great tips for this fall. These colder weathers often can shorten your vehicle's battery lifespan. I recommend investing in a battery maintainer or a trickle charger to keep those batteries topped off. Now is the time of year to change your air filter in your car. More at Napa Auto Parts or NapaOnline.com. For the DIYers out there that love spray texture but don't enjoy doing it, DAP 2-in-1 wall and ceiling spray texture is a revolution with this new patent-pending 60-degree adjustable nozzle. More at DAP.com. Up to 90% of homes are actually under-insulated, and that's why it's a great idea to insulate with Owens Corning Pink Next Gen fiberglass insulation, and you could qualify for up to $1,200 tax credit. Check out more at owenscorning.com. Last up, it's football season, and Lowe's has NFL licensed Valspar paint for all 32 NFL teams. You can find out more at lowes.com/home-team.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. It's time for us to take a look at the lifestyles of the rich and famous as we dive into some celebrity real estate.
Okay, let's start with Ashley Judd, who is renting out her Franklin, Tennessee property for $9,200 a month. The 4-bedroom, 3-bath home comes fully furnished along with a guest house on 5 acres, built in 1810. The home boasts a beautiful brick exterior and a stone walkway. Inside, there's a bright and airy entrance that flows into the formal living room with a fireplace. A pair of painted doors open to a sitting area, complete with a wall of windows and a spacious sunroom. The country-style kitchen features double ovens, a center island, a sub-zero fridge, dual sinks. The primary suite is upstairs, features a fireplace, beam ceilings, and 3 walls of windows. It also comes with a private balcony.
Lots of character in that one. She did a good job on that. Let's move on to Elizabeth Perkins. She's the talented TV and movie actress. She got her start in the Tom Hanks hit Big. Remember her now?
Right.
Apparently, she found a buyer for her Sherman Oaks, California home. It was listed just a few days ago for nearly $3 million. The 5-bedroom, 4-bath home measures about 3,700 square feet. It's located in a very desirable LA neighborhood, offering SoCal living at its finest. The kitchen features an island with seating for 2 and access to the family room. There's French doors that open up into the backyard. That includes a pool, fountain, and even a terrace. The main bedroom has its own outdoor space and a bathroom with a large shower and double vanities. You need vanity in Hollywood. There's also an office and a bonus room as well.
You need triple vanity.
Triple vanity, right.
And a one-of-a-kind property with a celebrity pedigree, still on the market in Colorado's Western Slope region. Surrounded by the Gunnison Range in the Rocky Mountains, this Crawford, Colorado mansion was originally built in 1994 for the late rocker legend Joe Cocker. Whoa. It's known as Mad Dog Ranch. Wow. Isn't that gorgeous? The 316-acre property comes with a 15-bedroom estate, a 5-car garage, and more than 15,000 square feet of interior living space. You get lost in this place.
No kidding.
The Primo spread was first listed in November of 2022. However, after 300 days on the market, the gorgeous house still needs a buyer. The $18 million price tag still holds strong.
What would you do with a house that big? Right?
Get lost in the mix.
I mean, that is incredible. I mean, just the view of that thing. Turn it around. See this? Wow, yeah. Unbelievable. We want to thank you for tuning us in here on Daily Flash. Our website's always open for you. You can go to dailyflashshow.com. I want to say thank you to all the folks that are here to make this show awesome.
Great crew.
There they are. We're going to do it again in 23 hours. You want to?
I think so.
All right.
Let's
Sounds
do it.
like we'll be back. Y'all take care. We'll see you when we look at you.